What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm Myron Hill of James Media, and today we're going to talk about flash photography. Now, what is flash photography? Flash photography is when you're using a flash to actually help capture your photos. It acts as your light source. It could be on camera or off camera. Now, if you really want a great image, then you should always have your flash off camera or have an off camera product to act as your flash, and never use the flash that's on your camera by itself. Now, why should you use flash photography? For one, a flash is always helpful in a dark environment. What I mean by that, personal example is I got hired for a baby shower last year, and I should have asked what the place was, that way I could scout it beforehand, but I didn't. So when I got there, the place is actually really dark. Now, I did bring a flash, and the flash helped out a lot. It actually helped me capture some really good photos. But the thing is, if I didn't bring that flash, there is no way I could have gotten even a decent photo there, because how dark it was. Little to no window light. You know, just the colors, just the environment, it wouldn't have made for great photos if I didn't bring that flash. Now, a second reason you should always bring a flash is because it'll give your photos that high quality look. Now, what I mean by that, now if you look at certain magazines, or you look on a website at certain stories, or you wonder how some of these Instagram people get their photos to look the way they do, it's because they use an off-camera flash. Now, when you use this technique, it will help take your photos to the next level. And it's so simple. You're not spending a ton of hours in Photoshop. You're not spending a ton of hours in Lightroom playing with the exposure or the shadows and all that. You literally set a flash on your camera or off your camera. You measure the light if you have the TTL function. Or the one I use, I manually dial in my settings. And when I have it right, it just gives an incredible look. Here goes some examples right now to show you. Now, I call this look the magazine look, because if you get these settings right in your camera and in your flash, there will be very little to no editing in post, and you will have some amazing high quality looking images. Now, the third reason you should use a flash during the photo shoot is because it's very versatile. Like I said, you can use it in dark buildings, you can use it outside to overpower the sun, you can use it at nighttime. You know, flashes come in handy when you have little to no light and you need a light source to help light your model. Now, how does it work? Now, this is the flash I use right here. Now, this is the Yongnuo 560 Mark IV. This is actually an older flash. I had this flash for 2 years, and like I said, this one is actually manual setting, so there's no TTL function in it. Now, what I would do if I wanted to use this on camera, I would slap it on my camera through this cold shoe mount. I would just make sure my flash setting is on. Then I would look at the power settings on this, and pretty much I will fire shots until I get a power setting on here I like. And that also helps if you have your shutter speed at a certain angle. That should help with this. I use the bounce cards to actually help the light hit the ceiling so it can come down on my subject. But if you don't want to use this, you can also buy a diffuser, and you pretty much just slap that on. Boom, there you go, you're ready to shoot. Now, when I shoot, I do keep it like this sometimes, but a lot of times I do kind of have it pointing forward. I want to make sure that when it hit the ceiling, it falls down on my subject and give her such a good lighting. Now, I also think I got that reason because I first started on the G85 by Panasonic, and then I switched to the GH5, which is both micro four thirds. So I used to be kind of further back shooting photos on a 16mm. I think I did this so I can make sure the light hit the ceiling, and that way I can make sure it's falling on my subject. Now, to use off-camera flash, you would need this, and this is actually your receiver, and this is actually how you control your light when it's off your camera. Because what you'll do is you'll put this on a light pole in a softbox. You'll put it off to the side 45 degrees from your subject, and this will actually be on your camera in a cold shoe mount, and you'll be able to control your flash just from this alone. Now, pairing these two is called the master and slave function. This receiver right here will act as your master, and your flash will act as your slave. You can actually have two of these, so you can set these off maybe in like two different corners with a third facing your subject, and you can get some amazing shots by using flash techniques like that. Now, to use these, you actually have to make sure your flash setting is on your camera, or else these will not fire at all. Now, what can this be used for? Weddings, baby showers, birthday parties, portrait shoots outside, engagement parties, corporate events, pretty much anything you can put your mind to. Now, if you're doing something like a corporate event, then you do just want to slap this on your camera. You definitely want to make sure you have a diffuser on it. because this would be a lot easier than just logging around off softbox. Now, to get really good images out of these, you want to make sure your shutter speed is to where you're at. And what I mean by that is you always want to take a test shot without this on first and see if you like how dark the image is, because once you turn this on, this will actually help light up your image. So a lot of times when I was on Panasonic, at least, I would have to turn my shutter speed down to -2 stops, or maybe almost all the way down to 3 stops, and now we'll put this on. Now we either keep this at full power or we'll turn it down to 1/16, I think it is, or 1/8, or even 1/32 at times, and then it will fire and it will give me some amazing shots. But before you start your event, you always want to just ask somebody, can you practice on them? Or if you brought somebody to help you, just practice on that person. Because as soon as you get your settings in, and most of the time you're in like an open room or like a huge area, most of the time the lighting will be the same. You may have to adjust the power by 1 or -1, but honestly it's not a big deal. Just as long as you adjust this and don't adjust your shutter speed, you still get a great shot, but it'll just look more bright than really what it should be. Once you have it right, the lighting will just look amazing. It will look almost angelic on your person. It'll light them up and it won't be as harsh. Now, like I said, this does not have TTL in it. This is a manual light. So like I said, you have to dial in your settings. And like I said, you do that by shutter speed, then you do it by the strength on your flash, which like I mean it's like a power level. So it started at 1/4. Then you can go down to 1/8, 1/16, 1/32, 1/64, and I think you go to 1/28 if I remember right. I have 2 of these too, but I never use 2 in the same setting. And actually I might just do that. But I'm actually planning on upgrading to the TTL version, because how that work is they actually measure the light in the room and it automatically sets your camera and your light to the correct settings. So when you take a photo, it will come out looking amazing. So when I take these photos and I import them into Lightroom, I really just mess with the contrast. I really don't mess with the exposure that much anymore. I may mess with the shadows a bit, the blacks. I don't mess with the whites, and that's pretty much it. I really don't mess with the colors anymore because I like how it look already. It pretty much does 80 or 90% of the work for you. So when you go into post, there is little to no adjustments you have to make to your image, and your image is already looking amazing. And you know what, guys, these are actually not that expensive. I think you can get these on Amazon right now for somewhere between $50 to $60. The controller maybe like another $40 to $50. I'll make sure I put the prices on here so I can actually have the correct information. But you know, these are a very inexpensive way to get very high quality photos that people will love. And actually by using these and doing a couple of shoots, that's actually how I got hired for baby showers, and actually just to do portrait photography. I really don't like to do portrait photography without these anymore, unless I'm going out during sunset and I'm looking to create my own presets, so I have to go out and shoot in certain conditions. But other than that, I'm taking one of these with me, at least with the softbox. And the softbox I use is actually a Godox softbox. Right now it's the umbrella, but I'm gonna buy the actual one you could just pop up and use the Bowens mount in. It's a quick, easy setup. You don't have to do as much or work as hard as you do with the umbrella just to keep that up. Okay guys, that's all I got for you today. So before you leave, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channels, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new content. I hope you have a good day. Peace. I'll never die, I'll never go.